Hello, hello. How are we all going? I'll just give it a couple of minutes. Make sure I've got some people watching. Make sure you say hi or give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, and to check in so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. Oh, hi, Robin. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'll just give it a couple of minutes just till I see a few more pop on. I know it's the night before a long weekend, but that's okay. There we go. Okay, well, I've only got a short amount of time, so I'm going to crack into it. Welcome to Natalie May Scrapbooking. I'm Naomi, one of the brand ambassadors. Hi, Wendy. Lovely to have you here, darling. And we're thrilled to be part of the Great International Craft Show online. As you are probably aware, Nat is off traveling, so Kasia and I will be doing some lives for you over the next couple of days. So I hope you can join me and Kasia and for a little bit of fun. And we'll be sharing all the specials with you over the weekend. So if you missed this morning's, go back and watch. Kasia did a walk through the store and went through all of the specials and the products. And then she also did a little demo with some cards and some watercolor pencils earlier this morning. So now that I've finished work, hi, Alana. I'm joining you guys tonight. So if you haven't seen, we have new specials every day. So the one day only specials are only for today only. So if you want something that's in one of these, you need to order it tonight. But it's okay. You won't miss out on the specials that are coming up for the rest of the weekend because we have our no judgment postage. So that is running a little bit differently this year. What happens is the first time you put in an order, so if you would like some thickers and some stamps, some uniquely creative, anything that's on here at these specials, you put your order in tonight. You will automatically be emailed a code after you put your first order in, and that will give you your no judgment postage. Postage isn't free. It's $11.95 for your first order, and then there's a $2 handling and charging fee on top of that for each order after that. So it's just so you can take advantage of all the different specials over the weekend. So let's crack into it. I'm going to pop that away, and I'm going to bring out my little art journal page. So if you haven't seen these are Nat's handmade DIY journal kits. So I'm going to have a little play in one of these tonight. I'm not going to put it together. Nat has done a video on this. So if you want to know how to do it, it does come with all the instructions, $13.95. This was from the retreat this year, and I'm going to have a play in that. So this was the class that Nat did. Created this cute little book, and I've done some little bits and pieces in there. So I'm going to pop one of these pages out and work on it out of my journal. All right. So first thing we do when we look at an art journal page is, what is our focal point going to be? And tonight, because we've got a discount on Natalie May Scrapbooking, certain Natalie May Scrapbooking collage papers, there is 16% off. I'm going to play with one of those. And I'm going to do it a little bit differently tonight. So what I've pre-done, because I've been given an hour, and I'm not great at sticking to an hour, but I will try. I have popped this onto a little bit of cardstock with some gel medium, and I'm going to cut that out, and that's going to be my focal point. So she's going to go over here. She's probably going to go off the page a little bit, and then I'm going to build my page. So let's crack into it. Now, what I've got tonight is I've got some paper artsy paints. So I have ochre, I probably said that wrong, this bluey oceany color that I can't pronounce, toffee apple, I've got some Firebird, and I've also got my own little mix in these refillable markers. And I've mixed 2 different colors into here, and it was a pink, the lily, the pink, and a I can't remember what the other color is, a violet color. So I will show you how these refillable markers work. I've got the 4mm tip, and they are new in store at the moment. So let's get some color down, and I always start with my lightest color first. So that will be the ochre. So giving it a bit of a shake. Whoop. And I'm just going to use my messy mat over here. I might actually just grab, and I always forget this, sorry guys, I just looked up and seen that light there. So I'm just going to put my Ranger messy mat down because it takes the glare away from you guys. So I will just wipe that up and pop this down. And hopefully that takes away. No, it's just transferred it onto another thing. Anyway, that's okay. All right, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of that down there. And I'm using a dry brushing technique. I'm just going to get some color onto here, and I'm using one of my favorite color paintbrushes is the Art by Marlene. And now this is really, so I'm just going to lift my camera. So apologies for the bit of the Blair Witch project that's about to happen here. Just because that, oh, thank you, Robin. Sorry. It is a bit of a pain, but it's one of the joys I have of working at night when the kids are in bed. Although I shouldn't be too excited to tell you this, but I have an empty house, so my door's open. I'm not even hiding in here tonight. My husband's taken the kids down the coast to see his parents for the last bit of the school holidays. Hi there, Alison. Welcome, lovely. So we're just playing in my DIY journal tonight. And these were from the retreat last year, and they are still available. So I've used Paper Artsy Ochre. And then I'm going to move into the Firebird. Now, I have a confession. This is my first time using Paper Artsy paints. I do like the chalkiness of them. I'm not sure how I'm going to go with the translucency of them, but I'm hoping that what I'm doing tonight will work. So because I haven't got any paint on my brush, I'm just going into a color that's alongside the yellow on the color wheel. So in the middle there, I'm creating a new color with my dry brush. It gives it a nice blend, and because these are translucent, it is giving a nice little mix. So and I'm going to have to work really quick tonight so I stay in my time zone. Kasha was very good at keeping in hers today, so I need to make sure I do the same. So moving on to Toffee Apple. Toffee Apple's a little bit thicker. Hi, Leanne. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I've noticed that we've got a few more joined us since I've started. So welcome. I am Naomi. If you haven't met me before, virtually or in person, not many people have met me in person, except unless you went to the retreat. I'm based in Canberra, and I'm one of Natalie's brand ambassadors. So this weekend, we are part of the Great International Online Craft Show, and we are bringing you some little live free classes, mini classes, just to show you some products, share the love, and hope that you pick up not only some great bargains with all the sales that are going on, but some techniques and tips that you can use in your own craft. Yes, I'm starting to realize that I should have had these paints in my life a lot earlier. Alison? All right, so now I'm going into the blue, and again, I still haven't changed my brush. Sorry, I haven't washed my brush. And because of that, I'm creating a bit of a purple here when I'm mixing the blue and the red. It's a bit of a, it says toffee apple red, but it's got a bit of a pink to it. Now, this is the messy stage, okay? So don't worry, it does look like a dog's breakfast at the moment. Speaking of dogs, that's the only person that's home with me tonight is my dog, and he's right beside me. All right, I'm going to go in with a little bit more of the orange, I think. Actually, let's bring in a little bit of pink. I've got Lily the pink. And I'm not going to, just getting a bit out over here. There we go. Lily the pink, just to fill that up. Now, a little bit of that is going to a bluey, a purpley blue, which is absolutely beautiful. And that's all because we haven't washed our brush, which is highly convenient for me in my craft room. Why I'm doing a live for you guys. Okay, so that will be our first layer. I'm just going to quickly clean up this paint over here and a little bit around here. And then I'm going to get some paparazzi, or a paparazzi stamp out, and we're going to create a bit more interest on this page. So let me have a look here. So I have got the Tracy Scott TS086, and I'm not going to use this the traditional way that Tracy uses them and with her beautiful colouring. I love what she does, but and I will use it for that, but I love these, the detail in these, because they are great mark making stamps. So I'm going to pull out a couple, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my paints now to blend those lines where it looks a bit, especially in the blue here. I'm going to blend that. So I might start with the blue. Yes, I will be there in May. At unless something happens, I will definitely be at the retreat in May. It will be lovely to meet you. All right, so I'm going to start with the red. That red is very thick. All right, and you can just see off the corner of my screen here, what I'm doing is I'm smoothing out my paint with my finger, because I'm going to stamp into it. Now, this one is a little bit small, so I'm going to pop it onto a block, otherwise my finger's going to end up red. So I'm just going to stamp the paint on, and I'm not going for a perfect impression, but I don't want it to be chunky, so that's why I've smoothed it out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp over this area here, so I blend the line. Oh, and then up here, actually I'm going to take that off there. I don't want the full impression. Turn that around. So we're hiding that line there. And I particularly do this with the darker colours. All right, one thing about stamping with your paint with your stamps is that you want to make sure you clean the paint off. Now, why I have this wet paint here, what I'm going to do is get a small brush. And you think I can find a small brush? should have got that one out early. Okay, this one will do. Just a random small brush, bit of water, mixing it up over here so I don't waste that paint. Oh, hi, Julie. I am using the Tracy Scott TS086, and I'm just showing a different way to use them as a mark making stamp. So I'm just going to splatter over that stamping there, just so I don't waste that paint that's over here. And just in that spot too. I love a good splatter. You'll probably find it hard to find a page of mine that doesn't have splatters on it. Sometimes I don't know when to stop, especially if there's gold involved. All right, cleaning that off, and then we're going to do the same with another color. So they're not big splatters, they're just giving a little smoker's tap. And I'm not an ex-smoker or a smoker, so it can be done by anyone. All right, so now I'm just going to change into this one. I love this one. I think I'll actually use it later with black ink. Or maybe I will use it with black ink. I might hold that one. I might hold on to that one and go with a different pattern. And I'm going to go with this. Looks like a strawberry to me. But I'm going to go with that one. These are great stamps. And stamps happen to be on special today. So for today only, 15% off stamps. So again, I'm using my darker color over here in the corner. I'm spreading it out with my finger, just so that I don't have a big blob. If I don't do that, I'm going to get paint all up inside of that, which makes it harder to clean, and it will also transfer onto the page. So I'm just stamping into it and then stamping off, just so it's got the color on it, but not too much. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing. Ooh, I love that. Love that. Now I know I've got to get a move on, because I know I'll go over if I don't. Don't tell Nat. All right, so that one has to be my favorite so far, that stamp. I think I'll be using that a fair bit. Yeah, it's actually a really nice pattern. All right, so making sure we get our paint off. Because it's acrylic paint, it will stick on there, but it's so easy to clean off. And now you know what I'm going to do, don't you? I've got all this paint here, so again, just going to get some water. Just make us a bit of a wash, just so it's liquidy enough to flick. And then in this, again, over those same spots I've just stamped, give it a good old smoker's tap. All right. Now, that is the ugly stage part 2. All right. So cleaning up my paints. And I'm going to pop this aside, and I'm going to cut out my focal point. So that can dry over there. And if you missed before, this is one of Nat's collage papers that's on special, 16% off at the moment. I can't remember her name. I feel like it's Clarice. Not 100% sure there. But I have stuck it onto just some cardstock with gel medium, because I didn't want to put her onto the page. I was also trying to save myself a little bit of time and prepare a little bit earlier. So I'm just going to cut that off, pop that aside. But it's also it's good to see how to use collage papers differently. We don't have to gel medium straight onto the page. You can put them onto, and I'm not going to do that completely. You can put them onto a piece of white cardstock and make them into another element. I hate fussy cutting, if you haven't noticed. I do need to get me some of those uniquely creative scissors that Kasia was talking about, because well, Kasia is a whiz at fussy cutting, but she makes it look so easy. I do love these little scissors. I have had them for a while, and I know they're on special as well. But yeah, the uniquely creative ones are 20% off Uniquely Creative today. Today only, according to my sheet. So if you missed it earlier, we are doing a new no judgment postage for this show, just to try and make the process a bit easier for everyone involved. So what happens is, if you decide that you would like to put in an order today because you want to take advantage of some of the specials that are on today only, but you don't want to miss out on tomorrow's specials, well, you pop your order in today and you will automatically be emailed a code. That code will allow you to put will give you no judgment postage, which is $2. So you can add onto your order for a small price of $2 after your first order. So your first order, you pick standard shipping, which is $11.95, or you can choose Express if you want, noting that I think Express is available, but noting that they don't get packed until the end of the online show on Monday. So it won't be Express as of tomorrow. Being it's a public holiday. So we will have Kasia back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock Adelaide time for a coffee and a chat and another look around the store at what the new specials are, which is exciting. And Kasia rocked it this morning. All right, I decided I didn't want that white bit there, so I am cutting around it. And then I'll go back to my page. Alrighty. So too easy. And these collage papers come in a black and white version and a colored version. So you can do two different pages or two different projects with one collage paper. And I love adding black and white to a beautiful colored background. I'm going to dry this really quickly because the splatters are a little wet. Now, I'll just make sure I haven't missed any. You're surprised how good the Uniquely Creative scissors are at fussy cutting. Yes, I'm very keen to try that. So I'm just grabbing a piece of paper towel because we're going to do some different stamping next. I'm just going to make sure that I have no liquid on my page. Obviously, for those following along at home, you wouldn't have to do that, but for the sake of a live Facebook, here we are. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of, I'm going to do some stenciling first. Now, Natalie May stencils are also on special. Some of them are also on special select. So 15% off, and I'm going to have a play with a couple of these. So I'm going to bring some white and some black. So I think this is numbered. This is my design, which is called Twisted Yarn, I think. And this is something crosses. Can't quite remember. I've got them all labelled. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, I'm going to use a little bit of that pink. And I've just got a sponge, a makeup sponge with a bit of this Lily the Pink. Lily the Pink. All right, so I'm not putting too much paint, and I apologize, but I put that in a spot that you can't see. So I'm dabbing it on and then dabbing it off. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dab some of that down. Give a bit of interest there. Oh, I forgot how much I love that stencil. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm joining the color that I'm swiping on. So I haven't got a lot of paint on my sponge because it's good that these are translucent, but I'm just swiping on and I'm joining it to the color that I've already got there. And a little bit up here. And that was almost the perfect amount of paint on my sponge. That's almost unheard of for me. All right, so that is some stenciling on. Now I'm going to cool, that dried pretty, it's really hot here in Canberra today. I've actually just went and put my aircon on because I always have a hottie right as I go to start a live. So yes, all right. So that was twisted yarn. And now I'm going to get some, I'm not going to use this because it's thick, my white acrylic paint. I'm going to use a bit of white gesso. And this is a lifetime supply bottle of gesso. Liquitex gesso. And I'm just going to use my finger. Now my girl's going over here. So over here somewhere. So what I'm going to do is pop a bit of this in the corner. And then I have a baby wipe. And I'm going to, don't worry, I'm not covering all that stenciling I just did. Stamping I just did. So I'm going to pop my numbered stencil over here. Get my baby wipe. And wipe my, and I'm not wiping too hard because I didn't gesso this before I put it on, but I do have acrylic paint underneath, which gives it, this is a really juicy baby wipe. So I'm going to get some bubbles in that, but that's okay. And then lifting that off. So we've created a bit of interest over here. Now I'm just going to wipe off the back of that because if I put that down with all those bubbles on, it's gonna, although maybe I could do that. I'll do that on the next one. All right, and then I'm gonna go over here into this darker area just to bring a bit of light into that. I'm not going over those, but I'm connecting it to the bottom. And again, just turn over my baby wipe and making sure my numbers are the right way around. And again, just giving it a light rub. God, I swear you couldn't get baby wipes as wet as this when I had babies and needed them that wet. Well, ladies, I'm going to be absolutely devastated on Tuesday. My little one starts preschool. So now I'm just going to see if that stamps a bit. Oh, yeah, it does. So I'm just using what was bought through the other side and stamping it on there. Didn't do a great impression, but that's okay. All right. And lastly, I'm just going to add a last bit up here into this dark red part. And I'm running out of gesso, but that's okay. Just has to be a little bit. And there we are. Okay, so that was the numbered stencil. Hi, Shirley. All right, I'm halfway through my time slot. Can she keep under the time? Let me just wipe this gesso out the way because otherwise I'll get that everywhere. Okay, drying this off a little bit just because that baby wipe was so wet. Oh, thanks, Shirley. All right, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some stamping. So I'm going to use some black archival ink, and I'm going to use one of my new favorite stamps at the moment. Oh, hi, lovely. Oh, no. Yeah, tell me later. So this is Fragment by Funky Fossil. And I love this one at the moment. It's one of my favorites. So I'm just going to bring in the black to the page. We've got black and white on our focal point, so we want to make sure we've got black and white on our page as well. So I think I will put the girl there. So I'm doing a bit of ghosting stamping. I think that's what it's called. And I'm making sure that my stamping connects to the edges. And I'm not re-inking. So I've got a bit down there. I normally do things in threes, but I want to put a little bit up here too. So I'm just going to break my own rule. All right, that looks good. Baby wipe. Yep, that's an old baby wipe. Needed that one earlier. All right, now because I have black ink, I'm also going to bring in some more black. But before I bring in my other black, I'm going to pop my girl down. Now, I've got a few options. Yeah, I'm going to stick her onto the page. So I'm just going to use my Art by Marlene. Oh, hey, Linda Pearson. Welcome, lovely. Yes, you girls and those pink scissors. I need to get some. I'm going to have to put myself an order in. All right, so I'm just using the Art by Marlene sticky glue, which if you heard Kasha today, it is the bomb. I love my Art by Marlene sticky glue. I was going to put her off the page slightly and cut off some of her hair, but I think I've decided not to do that. And now I've definitely decided not to do that. Oh, that's okay. These times are a little bit different to normal, so you are definitely excused for being late. And this is a little bit sticky because I did put gel medium over the top. So just making sure that she's stuck down well enough. And the great thing about that sticky glue is that it dries very quickly. All right, next we are going to do, oh, I did say I wanted to use this. I might just do a little bit of stamping with this. But I think what I might do, now don't laugh at me because I'm not big into, oh, hang on. I might just contradict myself here. All right, I'm going to use some oxide ink. I know, I should do that, shouldn't I? I should put it in. I do have it in my my cart, that's for sure. All right, so I'm just using some picked raspberry, and I'm using these stamps from that Tracy Scott set that I've now used 3 different ones. Oh, I think I need to buy a re-inker for that too. Maybe I definitely do need to put in. So I'm just going to put some marks. Yeah. I'm in the same tones, so it doesn't look completely weird. Yeah, I like that. Oh, yeah, especially on that blue. Okay, that is super cute. All right, so they are great little stamps for mark making, as well as how Tracy uses them for and however else you want to use them for. I love, and that's something I learnt from the lovely Tammy. she told me to look at a stamp and see how I can use it differently. So I always try to do that and make sure I can use things different ways than what they're intended. Now, for my quote, now I didn't think ahead and think of a quote, but I'm going to use these Simple Story vintage stickers, but they're not the color that I want. So what I'm going to do is grab, and I'm only going to use I'm going to use Live. So I'll just pop that up here. And these aren't the colors, so I'm going to grab out my Life of Colour pens and make them the colors that I want them to be. So you don't have to stick with these colors. They are shiny and they've got a little pattern on them, but that's okay. So let me grab out now, here's a little project I've shared before. If you haven't seen it, it is old. This is an old school pencil case, and this is one of Nat's girls. I don't think she's available, but she's one of these girls. And I've just popped her on there with some gel medium and made sure I gessoed, and that's on the top there. So it was one of the kids' old school pencil cases. And it is where I keep my Life of Colour pens. So I'm thinking I might grab out something closer to that red to pop that off the page a bit. So I've got a red there. Might need a bit of a pink. I might have to blend. Oh, maybe that one. Actually, that one. So I have a bucket load of Life of Colour pens. This is the brush tip one, and it's the what do you call them, metallic. So I'm gonna go, and what I might do is stick, no, I should color them in before I move them. So, oh, that's pretty. So I want L-I V, which is here, Live. So these are the Simple Story thickers, and I think Kasha said stickers. Thickers and stickers are on special today only, 15% off. So these, I also have these flagged for a travel page because they do have a little bit of a map, but not everything goes with cream. They're a bit of a creamy color, but that is how easy it is to change them from that. So let me pop that onto there before I get my pay, and that dried really quickly. So I'm gonna pop that. Sorry, I'm running out of room to make sure I stay on the screen. I'm gonna pop that there. Probably should have waited for it to dry. Now these collage papers do have a couple of quotes on them. So I have grabbed one of the quotes off there because I will sit there for hours on Pinterest trying to find a quote. So I love that. And that's got cuttables that I use as well. Then I don't have to think of quotes. Sometimes I have plenty, normally Disney ones, but then I also get stuck. Now this was the original quote. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick that onto there just with a glue stick, good old kids glue stick. Now, sorry, I haven't looked at the comments in a little bit, so I will just quickly pop this down, wipe my fingers and just make sure. Oh, thanks, Alison. They are very nice colours. I do love these paper artsy paints. I have been eyeing them off for a while. So now all I'm going to do is, so I just used a piece of cardstock there, and I'm going to cut these words. Oh, that's still a little bit wet. That's okay. But I'm going to cut live off. I'm just going to dry that really quickly because it's not fully dry, but it's close enough. And I've still got a bit more stenciling to do, some mark making stenciling, and then a little bit of doodling, and then I'll be done. How long have I been going? 41 minutes. I'm going to make this, I'm going to get this time frame. I was very prepared. I sent Kasha a photo of my desk this morning and said, right, I'm ready to roll. I just had to work this morning though, so I actually wasn't ready. So cutting off live. I'm going to cut that down even further. Live for the moments. And now because this is black and white, we're bringing the black and white back in. Live for the moments that you can't. You could have just stuck that on and cut the live off if you wanted to, but I like to separate them. I do like this saying, live for the moments that you can't put into words. All right, so that will go there. So let me quickly stick that on and then I can get cracking with the final touches. So tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock Adelaide time, Kasha will be having a morning chat and letting you know what the specials are for Australia Day, and showing you around the shop at what is available. And then she'll be doing a morning demo, and then, oh, that wasn't popped there. And then I will be back with you in the afternoon for 2 demos. All right, that's my focal point. There's my, that's not very straight, but that's okay. So what I want to do, little bit of doodling, but before I do the doodling, I'm going to get out one more stencil, and this is one of my favorite, my absolute favorite. I'm going to get a bit of Dina Wakley black paint and just pop it on my mat there. And again, I'm just using a sponge. I might cut off the end of that sponge, not really sure what. It's had some sort of brown on it. I must have been doing some vintage stuff. All right, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of this. I don't have a lot of paint on my sponge. Yes, love that. A little bit more. And then I'm going to go up here near her head. Maybe down here. And just for a bit of balance, I'll do a couple of little ones over here. I did get Dina Wakley's elephant out, but I haven't used it. I don't think it would actually go on the page. I was going to add a bit of grey in, but... So nearly done. And again, if you missed at the beginning, I'm working in my DIY journal. So Nat has a DIY journal kit, which has all the instructions on how to create your own journal. And this is a page out of that. I believe there's also a video somewhere of Nat showing you how to create the journal as well. Comes with all the binding, the pages that go in it, and the edge pieces. So 2 things to finish off, doodling and some Stabilo oil pencils. So I need to get one of these too. I really should write a list. This is a black Stabilo oil pencil. It is half the size that it once was. It is water reactive, and it is great for giving your projects an outline or a shadow. And I like to do that. Sometimes I give them a shadow, but sometimes I want the whole thing to pop off the page. And that's what I'm going to do here with this one. I'm going to go all the way around. It would be good if I had a sharper one, but I think the kids have stolen my sharpener. So to activate that, you can use a paintbrush, but I love these Uniquely Creative water brushes. And I'll just make sure I use them for my magicals as well. So it's just got water in it, and they're great for if you're traveling, but I use them all the time sitting right here at my desk. So I'm just activating that brush, tapping a bit of the water off if it gets too much, and just giving that a bit of an outline. I'm not being too pedantic there. Just makes her pop off the page. And the great thing about these little journals is that you can turn the page to work on. I like to have little journals so I can try things out on a smaller scale before trying a big project. Oh, hey, Susan. Yes, Julie, they are. And I have 3 different sizes of them. So yes, the Uniquely Creative water brushes are on special as well. 20% off for today only. And they are so easy to use. All right, so that was that. So that's just given her a bit of a shadow all the way around her. Now, bringing together my quote, I'll use my Life of Colour black pen, and then I'll add some doodling. I just like to frame my words. I will do a black edge as well, but before I do that, I'm going to get a white uniball pen. She is very cool. I can't remember her name. I think it's Clarice. Well, I've got Clarice in my mind. So, and what I'm just going to do is I like to do a little bit of doodling just around marks that are on my page. It just makes I don't know, it just makes sense to me. And I could have done it on these little guys as well, but I don't want to overdo it, and I don't want to go over my time. I do have 11 minutes and counting. So, ladies, jump online to nataliemay.com.au. Make sure you take advantage of the specials for today only. And, of course, the Scrap Effects $2 special. Julie, that is hilarious. That's okay. Thank you for joining me from the car park at Coles. They do say crafting can be done anywhere. There you go. Thank you, lovely, for joining me. Yes, once the Scrap Effects items are gone, if you don't know, Scrap Effects has closed down. They are $2. Everything is $2. So if you're putting something in your cart, have a click on the Scrap Effects. And Clarice, I was right. So she also, I think she comes in, her hair's blue in the colour version on the other side of her. Yes, so we cannot get any more Scrap Effects. And Tracy Scott used to actually design for Scrap Effects. So I did see there was some Tracy Scott collage paper of a girl in there. So have a little scroll through and see if you can pick yourself up a bargain. All right, we are nearly there. I am going to grab my black pen now and give this a border. And then I will just show you how I put it back into my journal. Oops. Good thing I'm doing wonky lines because that was really wonky. So this is a double page in that DIY journal, but I don't all have to be double pages, but I picked the middle one so that I could do a double. So there you go, ladies. Just to recap what we've done, we've used our Paper Artsy paints to create our background, and we did some stamping with Tracy Scott's TS086. I will put a photo up later and put the links. We did some stenciling with the Natalie May Twisted Yarn. We used the numbered, and then we used the crosses something. Oh, is she, Terry? Thank you. We also did some stamping with the fragment stamp from Funky Fossil, my new favorite stamp. We've used Simple Stories stickers, and these ones are called Simple Vintage Essentials, and you get 129 stickers, and I've coloured them in with my Life of Colour metallic brush pens. What else did we do? We did some, our collage girl has been stuck down onto paper and then onto our page. And one of the benefits of doing that, that's okay, Susan. He's funny. That's okay. One of the benefits of doing that is that I didn't need to gesso over the top of my colours to put her down. So if you don't want to gesso, then you can just do that. Put it onto a piece of cardstock and put it down. We finally finished with some doodling and added the quote from that set as well. So she looks like your old kindy teacher, does she? No, I don't know if she your kindy teacher had this unicorny thing in her hair, Terry. All right, thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to jump online to nataliemay.com.au to make sure that you take advantage of our clearances. And Kasha will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Adelaide time. So for those of you like me who get a bit more of a sleep in, it's 9:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time. And she will go through the new specials for tomorrow as part of the Great International Craft Show online. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you've got any questions, pop them into the live for this, and I'll come back and look at them later, and I will pop up the links to all the products and a photo of the project. Thanks for watching. Bye.